Hello, students. Welcome to Warrior Words of Wisdom this Friday, May 15th. It's kind of rainy and yucky outside, but at least it's warm. So today we have with us Caleb. And Caleb, you're going to have to pronounce your last name because I think I've been saying it wrong all this time.
It's Riesinger.
Riesinger. That's okay. Somebody said Wrestlinger, and I didn't think that was right. So Riesinger. I can remember that because I can remember the singer part of it.
Yep.
Caleb is a very important person here at Indiana Tech. Caleb is the supervisor for the Warrior Information Network, which is a great place for students. They have the capability to do so much to be able to help you. But instead of me talking about what all they can do, that's what we have Caleb for here today. So Caleb, tell us about the Warrior Information Network.
Yeah, the Warrior Information Network was designed with the idea of being kind of a one-stop shop for students, specifically in the CPS program. So we can handle a little bit of everything. Our primary functions are creating schedules, looking at degree audits, helping students determine how much longer they have until they're done with their classes. We look at financial aid issues. We can tell them, we can't give exact amounts, but we can look at how much aid they have available and, give them estimates on what's supposed to come, when it's supposed to come. Any issues with Blackboard, if they can't log into Blackboard or they're having problems logging into My Indiana Tech or Student Webmail, let me in. Any one of those things, we can help them with password resets, walk them through how to log in, help them to navigate Blackboard. That's one area that we don't have a lot of experience with, is actually assisting with issues within Blackboard. So we can help them get in and then we can help them navigate. But if there's an actual problem within Blackboard, we really don't have a whole lot to do there. But yeah, I mean, we do an awful lot. We help the registrar's office with a lot of different tasks. We've even been known to look at transfer credit and help them with transfer credit. So the admissions representatives constantly reach out to us to help them make schedules, to ask questions about, clearing a student. If it's a brand new student that's trying to get into a class, can they be cleared? What documents are they missing? I mean, I could go on and on and on, but that's kind of the basic gist of what we do.
So we could just throw in the kitchen sink and we'd be good, right?
Exactly, yes.
Now, one of the things that I think sometimes students get confused about, which I wanted us to talk about today too, is how the Career Center can help them versus how the WIN can help them. Because I think, we end up getting each other lots of emails, right, from students who are asking questions to either you that really should be directed to the Career Center, or they contact the Career Center and we don't have all the information and access that you do, and so we have to send them to you. Tell me, what are your thoughts? How do you see that? How would you advise students on when to contact the Career Center or when to contact the WIN?
Well, that's a very good question. And I see that a little more often than I think the rest of the WIN does, simply because I primarily handle the emails in the WIN. The WIN has its own WIN-specific email inbox. And so we have to have somebody that monitors that. So I'm the one that monitors and handles that. And I see those types of questions quite often. And so I think that the way I would answer that question would be, if your question centers around what can I do with my degree, that would be a question for the Career Center. If your question centers on how many classes do I have left to obtain my degree, or I want to switch my degree, I want to add a minor, what would that look like? Absolutely contact the WIN. But if it's career specific, if you're trying to find out what I can do with a specific minor, or if I were to, let's say I'm in the criminal justice program and I want to shift over to the criminal justice rehabilitative services concentration, what are the differences in careers? That I think would be a better question for the Career Center as opposed to the WIN.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think what we see sometimes is that students say, well, how many classes would I need to get this degree versus this degree? And, that's a time we have to send them to you, because we can't see their degree audit to know what classes they've already taken or or any of that kind of thing.
Exactly.
I think sometimes too, students think that we can tell them which degree is going to make more money. I've had people ask me, will I make more money with a degree in psychology or human resources? And I have to tell them that that's not the way that works.
Yeah.
A degree is not what gets you money. A job is what gets you money. And that certain degrees will lead to certain jobs. And then from that, so I do think sometimes students get a little confused about who to contact and what we can do to help. We do have a lot of resources that will help students if they want to look to see which career, how much money you can make in a career. But yeah, we can't, tell them which one is going to make more.
Certainly, yeah.
What would you say is the number one question that you get in the WIN?
Well, I think it's a tie. There's two questions that we get most often. The first one is, I need to create a schedule. And the second one is, where is my financial aid? Students contact us primarily to find out when their aid is supposed to post. We got that question so often, in fact, that we put a recording on whenever a student calls in the queue, they will hear a recording on the financial aid process before they ever even get to us.
Wow,
And so
that's good.
that actually helped drive down a lot of those calls, because a lot of students really just wanted to know what the process was and a rough estimate. We can't give exact dates because there isn't one. We just have a rough estimate. And so that was our number one question for the longest time. Once we put that recording in, it's kind of a mix now between, I need to schedule classes and when is my financial aid coming.
Wow. What other kind of career related questions do you get?
I think the ones that we see the most are just, as far as career, that's a good question. I have to think about that. Probably more so with the degree itself. Students are asking, I'm almost done with this degree. How much longer will I have before I have to finish this class because I have a job lined up?
Oh,
On contingent on completing this degree. So that would probably be our number one, I guess, career center question, or career centered question. Outside of that, I mean, really the questions that we would get about careers would be the ones that we would have to get over to the career center, because it's a lot of, what type of jobs can I get with this? Or like you said, because I've seen that question a lot too, which degree will get me more money?
yeah. Well, I mean, in all honesty, a lot of our adult students are going back to school because they want a better job.
Exactly.
And they want to make sure that, there's return on their investment, which, Indiana Tech has shown that the return on investment is quite good, especially for particular degrees, more so than others, sometimes. But, engineers are always going to make the most money, or, but I do think having that understanding ahead of time, we're actually going to do a short 15 minutes on how you can look up and find out information on how to know which careers pay how much. We have several really cool resources for students to help them figure that out. So great. Well, we're almost out of time. Anything else you want to add to our students to let them know about the Warrior Information Network?
The one thing I would say is, if you have any questions at all, it doesn't matter what it is, by all means, reach out to the WIN. If we can't answer them, then we'll make sure we get you to the people that can. A lot of times we'll get students that get to us kind of after, being transferred to multiple offices. By the time they get to us, they're frustrated. And I certainly understand that, because I've been in the same scenario where I've reached out to, AT&T to ask a simple question, and I just get bounced to representative. And so I think that the best advice that I can give students, and this is the advice I give to any student that's reaching out to us, really, is just contact us for anything. And kind of think of us as your first line of defense, because if we can't if we don't know the answer, we will either find the answer or we'll get you to the people that can answer that question. And and sometimes, I'm not saying the process is perfect. Sometimes we'll get them over to an office that says, oh, that's not really our area, and that it comes back to us, and we have to work with that office to realize that actually is your area, or maybe we were wrong and we have to go to a different area. But the nice thing about coming to the WIN is the team that I oversee are phenomenal at working with the students every step of the way. So they're not just going to abandon you. If you were to call back or email back because the office that we sent you to didn't give you the correct answer, or confused you more, or said that it wasn't their area, we're going to make sure that we help get you to the right area. So if we make a mistake, we'll admit to it, and we'll get you over to the people that can help us as quickly as possible. So I think that would be the I guess words of wisdom is just, we're a resource, so utilize us. That's what we're here for.
Yes, yes, yes. I totally 100% agree. And I totally encourage the students to reach out to the WIN. I send Caleb all sorts of things where students are asking me questions, and I just don't have the answer. And so I send them over to Caleb, and Caleb is always great about responding to the students right away, getting them the help they need. So the Warrior Information Network is a really important asset and a great partner to the Career Center, because we appreciate when they can answer the questions that we can't about students and their degrees. So thank you, Caleb, so much for being on our Warrior Words of Wisdom. We really appreciate you being here, and we appreciate all the work that you and the other members of the WIN do all the time, every day for our students. You guys really are the does it positively impact students? Yes, the WIN does. So thank you, Caleb.
Thank you. And I will say, just add on to that, the WIN feels the same way about the Career Center, because there are a lot of questions we can't answer that you guys take for us. So we really appreciate that as well.
Well, we appreciate you directing the students to us. I feel like I spend half my time trying to convince students to use our services, and the other half is actually providing those services. There's still so many students that don't reach out and don't ask questions, and just sometimes struggle when there's no reason to struggle.
Sure.
You and I both feel like our job is to make sure that our students succeed, and you're just a great partner in that. So thanks for being on today.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Okay, folks, and we will see you next week. Next week's Warrior Words of Wisdom is from, I'm trying to remember, don't remember right off the top of my head, but look for the email that went out. It has all the information on our various workshops for next week. Thanks for being with us.